rearing and breeding of domestic pigs for livestock production. This production is the backbone to the most consumed meat in the world, accounting for 40% of the world's meat intake. In Uganda, the average per capita pork consumption is 3.4 kg per person per year, which is highest in the East African region. This increased demand is said to be population-driven and is expected to continue rising due to the increasing numbers, lifestyle changes, and limited access to other meat products. The availability of pork products, however, is still a limiting factor to satisfying the growing demand. This is mainly due to poor management, quality of breeds, and failed disease control. Tonight, breeding and managing a piggery farm to maximize profits. Coming up.
The uniqueness of this Camborough is, number one, they grow very fast. Okay? At least you are sure that by 7 months they reach puberty. That is number one. Number two, the weight gain is remarkable. It's quite different. And number three, the feed conversion ratio. They eat less and the output is more.
PNR is a commercial piggery farm targeting breeding as a main trade line by selling semen and breeding gilts, also known as female pigs, under the age of 1 year. Buembo Michael, the farm manager, breaks down the setup.
PNR at the moment has 326 pigs in total, 22 of which are Boers. The 22, that's the Boer stud where we shall be collecting our semen from. The rest are breeding pigs. Those are the maternal lines. They are the pigs that are going to be giving out piglets we are going to give you. We have a target of over 10,000. Yeah, the 300 right now can give us around 6,000 pigs per year. So the turnover is 6,000 pigs per year. 6,000 in that aspect, I mean the 300, they give you 3,000 pigs. That is the first farrowing. The second farrowing, they give you 300. Okay? So roughly you are having over 6,000 pigs in a year. So we are looking forward to selling semen from PIC Boers. PIC is Pig Improvement Company from South Africa. It sells sire lion. So those are the Boers we have at the farm. So we want to sell semen, that's number one. We also want to sell breeding gilts. That is after mating our mother stock, as you see, the maternal lines. We also want to give breeding gilts to our farmers. And number three, we also look forward to selling pork. So those are the three lines of business we want to, tackle: the semen, breeding gilts, and pork.
Piggery is considered a lucrative venture because pigs take a relatively short time to mature, approximately 3 to 4 months, and produce 8 to 12 piglets per delivery, at which stage one can either sell them off for breeding, raise them for pork, or keep the sows for reproduction, all of which increases the chance of doubling one's income in a short time. In PNR's case, the intent of selling the piglets is based on producing quality gilts and winners. This is how they plan to achieve the target.
Number one, to ensure that the three lines are achieved, that is the semen, the breeding gilts, and the pork. One, we look at the breed itself. You see, there are three elements in any production chain, I could say. If you have the breeds right, if you have your feeds right, and if you have your management right, then you are going to accomplish your goals. So we are very sure that the breeds we received from South Africa, there is no compromise on the breeds. Number two, the feeding. We are having a concentrate we are using that would help us our pigs grow at a reasonable speed. Unlike the porkers, for the breeding gilts or the breeding pigs, they always grow very slowly. We are focusing on the reproductive part of this pig, not on the weight gain or the deposition of fat. So the feeding should be considered very well, because we want the pigs to reach maturity, yes, earlier, at a reasonable weight, because we always serve them according to weight gain. At around 210 days, that is roughly 32 or 30 weeks, the pig should be served when it is 135 kilograms, okay? So with feed, we have a concentrate we are using, and we have a feed mill. We mix our own feeds, because we understand the feed industry is adulated. We couldn't trust anybody out there to come up with any feeds. So we make our own feeds. And number 3, the management part of it. We've deployed and we've employed experienced people. We have people that have worked on commercial farms. I personally, I have worked on commercial farms in South Korea, where I've been for over the last 2 years. So I know the technicality and the technical know-how of the swine production. Management starts from the word go, very early in the morning. What do you do? We emphasize, number 1, in the management, the biosecurity. Okay? Somebody should be well disinfected. Somebody should be in a better healthy condition to serve or to administer to our pigs. We do not allow any farm assistant or any technical person who is feeling a little dizzy or is having any ill health to work on the animals, no. Because there are some zoonotic diseases, some diseases you can pass on from human beings to the pigs. Number 2, in management, we also look at the feeding. It's also part of management. How much are you giving? Because when you look at a pig from farrowing up to around 21 days, it is suckling from the mother, okay? From 21 days, that is 3 weeks, to finishing, it is eating, okay? The eating from that time to around 6 months, those are 24 weeks, it is eating ad libitum. The question is, how often does a farmer is supposed to give in feed? There are farmers that restrict porkers, let me say. Gives some little feed and then restrains them. You are hampering with their weight gain, okay?
The most common breed of pigs in Uganda is the large black, which unfortunately is associated with poor yields and a longer time to mature. Other breeds include Landrace, large white, and Cambora, which are commonly imported from South Africa. To achieve maximum yields, one needs to choose a breed of a good production rate. Michael has chosen a particular breed to enhance his vision. It's a cross between a Yorkshire and Landrace, also known as the Cambora. He chose it for its growth uniqueness, as he explains.
So the uniqueness of this Cambora is, number 1, they grow very fast, okay? At least you are sure that by 7 months, they reach puberty. That is number 1. Number 2, the weight gain is remarkable. You find that this Cambora eats at most 3 kilograms, and then in return it gives you 1 kilogram of what? Of lean meat. You might find that the local ones eat 5-6 kilograms just to give you a half a kilogram of meat. We expect the Cambora to be bred at 30 weeks, okay? From farrowing to 30 weeks of age, they must be ready for service. And at that time, they should be weighing at the most 140 kilograms. For the local breed, you will find that they come to, they arrive to puberty maybe at 40, 50, and some go to 60 weeks. And by then they are weighing averagely 50, 60, 70 within that average. So that is how different this is.
Still to come, how to deal with the notion of bad hygiene, raising gilts, and suitable porkers. Hygiene has for a long time been a constant concern in management of a piggery. One of the common notions is that pigs are dirty animals. Michael breaks that notion, and these are his reasons why.
People have a notion that a pig is dirty. It depends on how you are housing your animals. Pigs are not dirty. It is us who make them dirty. If you work on your housing system, the pigs will never be dirty. By the way, let me tell you, pigs are very wise. They have a dunging area, and also they have a place where they eat from. A pig can never eat from the drinking point or from the feeding point, no. They also know that in mind, that from here I'll be eating. From here I'll be drinking. And when it comes to dunging, I will dung here. Now when it's time to sleep, I will also sleep here. So in your layout of the farm, you must put that into mind so that you come up with a better housing system to give freedom to this pig to know where to dung, to sleep, and to feed from. We clean at most 2 times a day. Immediately the pig, in the morning, we do clean, okay? After 2 days, we also use water and disinfectant to make sure that our houses look very clean, and they're always very clean. So, cleaning at least 3 times a day, disinfecting and washing with water and a disinfectant at least twice a week. They will render your house very clean. It will always be a very clean environment. See, the deep litter technology is more advanced, and many farmers in the poultry enterprise are the ones using it. But still there are some other farms, like Eternal Hope, they were using deep litter. The challenge with the deep litter is cleaning is compromised. So the most challenging part of it is in the cleaning. But when you have concrete floors, or if you have the kind of technology we have, it is really very easy to clean. So the animal is given little time to access its dung. You get it? But in deep litter, the animal defecates there, the animal urinates there, the animal sleeps there. So there are sometimes, if your aeration is not good, they are always very wet. You get it? When they are wet, they harbor infections. That's why it is very easy to lose your flock when you're on deep litter. I'm not saying it is bad. It is good if the management is really putting those few things into consideration. But there are commercial farmers. Let me show you. If you are doing deep litter, IMOs, I recommend them basically in deep litter systems, okay? Where you have litter always scattered on the ground, and then your animals are living on top of them. So what the IMOs do, they decompose the feces the animals pass out, and they render them inactive. Even when the pig or the animal eats this fecal matter again, it is not dangerous to its health. So in deep litter, use them. They will help you to control the ammonia that is always the ammonia mostly in the poultry houses.
Serving the pigs doesn't happen all at the same time, but also inbreeding is avoided to ensure improved breeds all the way.
So out of the 300, we have a possibility of having 150 gilts and also 150 male pigs, okay? So for the male pigs, those are the 150 we can produce every after 2 weeks for the market. And for the breeding gilts, those are the 150 we can give out there to the farmer. Because we know that a farmer will be tempted to get this male pig from us, to serve it, that is in breeding. What we do, on the second day after farrowing, when the piglet is 2 days old, we remove the testes. From 3 days, 4 days, in just within, let me say 1 week, but for us we plan that because there is no problem. You can castrate, that is, castration is removing the male, they call them tests, okay? The test will remove them. So in so doing, we are reducing the chances of breeding this pig. Not even reducing, terminating the chances of breeding it. So the male pig is taken for pork because it doesn't have gametes for reproduction. So for the gilts, it's okay. It is viable, it can be served, and then it gives you more pigs. So we continue managing our castrated male pigs until the market age of around 24. So we always strive to get at 24 weeks, at least 120 kilograms. That is our target weight. By 24 weeks, it should be on average 120 kilograms. So by that time, you can sell it away at the market.
Castrating pigs is a controversial issue. There are many who find the practice cruel, while others think it's a loss of a potential male pig that one could use to serve their sows. But if you are raising 2 male pigs, especially in a deep litter system, this could be a problem, and as such, you will need to determine whether you want to have this procedure done. However, when you are raising piglets of opposite sex, it's wise to go ahead and castrate. This is why.
When you castrate a pig, you eliminate a bull taint. Bull taint is that weird kind of smell that comes from pigs slaughtered, but when they were not castrated. There is that taint always in it. So that is number one. We castrate to eliminate that bull taint. Number two, we castrate them ideally to the farmer out there. For us, we have a breeding stock for the boas. We have our 22 boas. Those boas, their role is to give us semen. That is it. These ones that we produce out of the inseminations we do, they are not for collecting semen. Their intended market is the pork. They are table pigs. We call them table pigs, or we call them porkers. So those ones we always produce. We don't collect semen from them. No. We have a breeding A breeding program we follow. As I told you in the beginning, we have Cambraf PIC 337 and PIC 410. Those are the boas we use to collect semen and then we sell out in the market. The other boas we get on the farm, they are not for semen collection. They are table piglets. We just sell them out. Yes, you see, every time they wear out, animals wear out. 4 years is good to keep an animal on your farm. At most 4 years. Like in 4 years, a gilt or a sow gives you around 4 times to 9 times. But you can also cull them earlier depending on the way they are producing. I mean, their reproductive potential. That's why there are those that give you, actually there are those that gives you a higher chance to turn them over after 4 years, but there are those that also you need to replace after 2 years. I mean, it is quite individual according to an animal. And number two, it also depends on the management themselves. So those two you discern. Is the animal still productive? If yes, continue. But what is your management goal as a farm? How often should you? So for us, we intend to keep our pigs for 4 years, and then we change them. Reason being, it is a new stock. Yeah, it is a new stock.
Let's talk prices. Michael intends to sell his piglets at about 300,000 Ugandan shillings, 6 months gilts at about 1.3 million Ugandan shillings, and porkers of about 110 kilograms at 8,500,000 shillings. But what about the semen?
We have really a very, very, very attractive price. We shall be selling our does at 35,000. Yes, there are many out there with a higher price, but ours is, for now, it's a good breed, but we are going to give it at that price. Because we want to give away to farmers. Farmers have been hampered, with the poor genetics for a very long time. Our ultimate goal is to improve the breeds we have on the Ugandan market. So that's why we want, at least for any layman, anybody starting up, to have to be involved in this struggle as we improve our swine industry. We shall also be giving you a catheter. A catheter is a tube through which the semen leaves the bottle into a sac. So we shall give you a catheter, we shall also give you a dose at that match. So when it comes to the application, a farmer there might ask, how about now the technicality of applying it? We are going to partner with the artificial insemination agents out there. They call them AI technicians on the sub-county level, on the district level, village level. We are partnering with them. We are also into discussions with NAGRIC to help us train more technical people when it comes to insemination.
And now we look at new technologies in the business.
IMOs, they call them indigenous microorganisms. As you hear the word indigenous, something indigenous is something born of that place, okay? Personally, I've made IMOs hundreds of times. My take with IMOs, it is a technology we just need to embrace, because you are just getting or taking advantage of your environment. You pick some microorganisms out there, culture them, multiply them, and you let them give you, you multiply and use them for your own benefit. IMOs are used depending on why the person wants them. Number one, they can be used to control scent, bad smell. In piggery, if you have IMOs, that is if they are really made very well. Because instead of culturing IMOs, some other people culture bacteria. They culture viruses. You are thinking you have IMOs, you are culturing the other way. So if they are cultured very well, they are really a great technology we embrace. They can be used to control bad smell in all animal houses, the poultry, swine, cattle, all of them. At a different level, they can also be used as fertilizers. At another level, they can also be used as detergents. You can use them to mop your houses. So it is such a great technology I can embrace, and I advocate for use depending on why you want to use it.
Uganda's pig business has been increasing since the late 1980s, and ever since can be characterized as growing bit by bit. It is predicted that the projected global consumption of pork will amount to around 127.28 metric kilotons by 2029. With a price that is barely going low, if this isn't more reason to get into the business, what will be?